Hold on. Yes, there we go. I use this voice changer app. And brighten up this. Yeah, should have. Oh, I changed the colours. Yeah, there we go. Happy Wednesday! How are you doing? It's Wednesday the 26th of May. Halfway through the year, pretty much. Good news though. We finally shipped the project we've been working on for the last God knows how many months. It shipped on Friday. Silently, we didn't do any Instagram posts or something like that. We did send out a newsletter. So I'm really, really happy about that. It's been loads of bugs and things to come through. And of course, as the client friends say, hey, we need to add this onto the site and all that. It would have been great to have all of that way before we shipped, but such as how this project's gone, it's always been like kind of last minute for things. And I just went, right, we're shipping. Have you got any fixes or things to go? We're shipping in a week's time. It was silent for a week, and then I was saying, okay, we're shipping today. It's like, we're not sure. It's shipping. So we launched the site, knowing that there's a few little hiccups here and there, but finally it's out there. This allows the project to kind of get some momentum and understand where are the critical bugs and things which we want to fix. But we're not going to concentrate on the bugs today. We are going to... Oh, is mic still not working? It should be. I can hear myself on another screen, so yeah, we're good. We're not going to concentrate on the bugs. We're going to concentrate on a new kind of feature or admin panel sort of thing. Because one of my friends, he's working on a side project, and he wants to incorporate an admin panel like what I have on my project. And therefore, I dedicate this episode to like scoping out a brand new feature on admin panel and incorporating it into the production facing code. So let's do our let's get that out of the way because that's awesome. And let's go over to see how the doggo's doing. Yeah, he's doing good over there. And I just realised, yeah, we're good. He's just gnawing on his bone. I took him out for a little walk before, but he's doing nice. Love him. He's doing better today, so hopefully we can get through today. Okay, without him barking too much. But I do have a very special break intersection for you. Figured out how to do a few of my short videos from a vlog season I did a few years back. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed that. That'll probably be about in an hour's time. But let's jump on over to the code. So, you know, I know who's watching today. You're gonna really love this one. So let's make sure I'm on the right page. Selection.com. You've probably seen this all through the project, so I'm not going to go over it too much. But this is what we shipped. We shipped it on Selection.com. Really, really happy about this, and so happy about this. And the part which we want to kind of do an admin panel for is this supply, because the same day the site launched, other members of the Selection team launched a preview for a new merch drop, which is dropping later on this week or month. And so I need to switch out this artwork for that new drop and information. I don't want to do it manually. I could do that and job done. And thank you very much, end stream. I want to create an admin panel for that so that we can say this is the artwork we're going to upload. So we're going to do some uploading of information to our storage server, and the title updating, and a potential link, but we'll probably just keep it to the supply for now. But also we have the date in here. So we have a date, a title, and a piece of artwork we want to update. I need to go over to one of my side projects. In VS Code, we have admin.selection.com, and we're going to yarn dev this up. And I've got to put it onto a different port actually, port 3002. So, while that's booting up, I'll get the localhost 3002 loaded up on my... Oh, little man's just decided to come right here, so he's not on camera anymore. And we're going to... Is that already booted up? Oh, awesome. Maybe if I just... Yes. I already have a web token on my browser, so I didn't need to go through the whole login factor thing. So on Superbase, this one's going to be quite heavy on Superbase. They have this API on authentication. And there is a way in how we can do it on the front end. I've forgotten how to do it. It's been a little while. It'll be on the guides, I think. Just like on Firebase, you have this authentication yo-yo between the two. And if I can find the right documentation, I will definitely kind of walk you through it. Here we go. So, of course, we have a Superbase instance which we instantiate. We go into the auth component, and we can do like a sign up, or in our case, we have this sign in. And there's a few different providers. Like we're using this magic link, so it is here where we're asking to sign in on this email. So we're just saying sign in with this email, and in our backend of Superbase, if we go over to authentication, we have my email address set up there, and in the settings we have like disable of sign up and the confirmations. We don't have any providers, so it's going to send me an email to log in. It's done by magic. So this site URL is very important because it's what will be sent on the comeback. So you'll receive an email with a special key on there, and it'll log your browser in. So that's how my browser here is logged in to this instance. And I have a few different sections up here. Events, albums, you've probably seen them, records. I went through all this last week. We're going to add a brand new section on this. So let's go with that. So let's go into Nuxt. I love the magic bits. And yeah, magic bits. Yeah, this... you can do it like with different providers using, say, GitHub, Google, Bitbucket. I don't know how many other third parties there are incorporated on it. Actually, I did see a second ago, didn't I? Google, GitHub, GitLab, Azure, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, and Bitbucket. You can sign in using any of those through those providers. And again, you can add, say, what scopes you want to use if you wanted to do anything on those. But I've not really gone too far in that. I thought I'd just use Magic Link by default, and they'll send me an email. I can log in very simply. So we're going to create a brand new section. We're using Nuxt.js, if you've not come across this. Nuxt.js, it's like, well, if you custom to GridSum, I think you have a section called templates, and they're picked up automatically, and then they can render themselves. When you're thinking about templates, pages, these are the core roots. So we have, like, you've seen albums and shows. Events doesn't exist, and we have our sign-in route, which is there, and our index route, which is absolutely nothing. Dashbin. So we go with it's the admin dashboard, signed in, and I just grab it from the getters. Something we may want to notice, I just quickly go over that section, is with the authentication, we just need to set up a very, very simple store. So then when you log in, you say, hey, we're going to set a user, so we don't have to kind of keep asking Superbase, what is a user? We're just going to create this, the user as this mutation. And if I remember right, when the user comes back, we have to pick it up somewhere. I've forgotten exactly where. Here it is. So in a middleware is a little bit of code which happens just before the view instance is loaded, so you can inject certain pieces. And in this case, we can pull out any of the kind of core attributes from Nuxt and work on them. So we've got this Axios, and with Axios we're going, hey, with my browser session, which has my cookies and everything, what user am I? And if we come back with a user, If that's defined, then we set the user. If not, we're going to go and tell that browser to redirect to the sign-in page. Otherwise, we've got an exception and we don't know what to do with that. And the same we'd have on the other side is, if we're wanting to not have authentication session, we would say, hey, go get this user. We have a user. Hang on a second. We want you to redirect to the dashboard homepage and deal with that. Say, for example, you don't want someone who's logged in to go to the sign in page or sign up page, because what point would someone have to sign in or sign up again if they're already logged in? It doesn't make sense. So that's why we'd have these two middleware pieces. There he is. He's good boy. And how we put those on, we can put those on globally, but it's quite nice in our pages. You'll see here in our sign-in.view, we have this middleware, and it's specifically saying we're unauthenticated. In other ones, we have this middleware, we're saying we're authenticated. And you can set them globally, but I think I want to have a better control of that. So we're going to create our new section. I'm just going to create it as a... What we're doing is... Where have we gone? This, supply. And I just want to create a very simple page. I don't think I need to be too special in it. So supply.view, and I'm going to pull this over here. Again, Pug is my choice, so I can just do a div where in the supply admin page, and we've got to do not that script with JavaScript, because I have had some success with the composition API, but not the greatest success. So I can close that down so I know what I'm doing. Middle. And I'll make this bit bigger. There we go. Is that a bit better for the screen? Middleware, and we're going to... You can define as many middlewares as well, and it'll chain them together. So once one middleware's done, it'll pass that request onto the next. So you can do like chains, log me in, and then go and get my user information from somewhere else, and keep building up the request. So then your instance, your browser, your view instance is pre-populated with some data. But in this case, it's just very simple. So we've had that on the side. We go over to our tracks page, and we should not see on the side because it doesn't exist. But we will have supply admin page. Cool. So I'm going to pop this on the side and pop this over here. We're going to go over to our sidebar, navbar. Sidebar? Yeah. And I can just close down the hide the terminal. And yes, this is a bit messy. I do have a cleaner way of doing this, but this is all hacked together. So I'm just going to continue the hacking and pop this on side here. So just got to create this apply and give it the name. He's wrapping himself around me now. Water, mate. Tadashi's looking for some water. And we've had that on the side. I'll find an icon for it in a second. So, I did keep myself prepared. I'm a bit thirsty, but we're going to make sure that he's getting his share. So we give him some of this. I'm going to go over here. Tadashi. Where's the water? And it's 100% guaranteed that he's going to knock that over, and I'm going to have to clean it up at some point. Actually, let's go and do the icons. So hero icons. And what icon would supply? It'd be a shop, wouldn't it? So let's see, shop. There we go, shopping bag. And I don't need to do a lot of it. I don't need this top piece. I don't need this bottom piece. And with hero icons, they're doing a great job. So all I need is to replace this D definition, I think it stands for, of the path, and save that, and boom, we got our supply. Brilliant. So now on our supply page, what we're going to do is we want to create a very simple form. So form, and I think I set up on this project site. No, form text input. So we're going to create one of those. Silly little man is trying to get on the couch. No, that's not happening. Sit here. Remove that before. Yeah. Sit here. Ah. I don't know if you noticed on the. I have the couch, and he just loves going for that yellow thing. I don't know what it is, but he's on a tether right now, and I don't want him going on the couch without my permission. So he's a bit upset now. But anyway, let's see how far we can get before he starts whinging for my attention and whinging for going out. Although we did go out. What are you looking at like that for? He's a bit upset because he can't get on the couch. Oh, it should have been for him. I'm going to be lazy a little bit and go over to one of my other forms, bring that down here so I can have a little look-see of what I did. We brought this into its own little form, so it saves me a bit of effort. And it's just more of these classes I wanted to kind of copy across, is like this class, grab this across, it gives us a bit of a space, and then div, and just pretty much all the same. And we'll grab ourselves a form text input. And I'll go over this form text input right now. I'm just going to put it into play for now, the model, and the class of what it's going to sit in. It's going to be title. So data, we'll make it as a data 4 now. I think it wants it the old style way. Now up in here, boop, there we go. Oh, a little bit of spring. Okay, it's text input, not input. Thinking about a dog too much. Input. There we go. We have our text input. So let's go and see what that text input is doing. It's just a little helper. I was having to write this for each of our input sections, and I thought, it's getting a bit tiresome to define all these classes for it. So we have our label up here. You can see which we have the title, which we're defining in from our props title. Bring that in. We have our input area. We have a few of the other things, but input, we're passing the value. This is how the V model works, is it actually defines value, binds value, and when you change the value, it emits input. That's how V model works. So we're imitating that, but we're hard coding that because we want to make sure that it's in a certain way, that we're emitting the value up, not to our component, but we're going up to the parent component. That's why this event target value, and we're pushing that up, because otherwise it wouldn't go anywhere. Then of course we got these classes and we have descriptions. This ID, we're passing an ID, otherwise would be a counter. This is like my little hack. We do this little counter outside of the script. So this starts at 0. And then when we create one of these view components, it increments this counter. So each time this view, form text input view is instantiated, that counter increments 1, regardless of where it is on page or where it is in the project. It'll always be unique, and that's a nice little hack, which gives us a very unique ID for, well, not very unique, just an ID incrementing counter for our ID and name if we have that. But we've defined one, so class 4. So this means that when you click on the title, it references and highlights into the correct area. Nice little hack. Then we have a slot we can add in some data, which, for example, if I just go hello world, there, that'll add in some content below it. And I think there is another slot for a prefix. I don't know how, I've forgotten how that goes. Word. I think it puts on a, yeah, prefix there. So there's a few niceties. So I think that prefix works here. There it is. Span, and it's just taking up whatever isn't on Tailwind's UI. Come across it, it's totally worth the money. Just kind of saves you having to think about things. It's got a good set. Oh, it's got a view. I'll have to look into that. I've not brought that across yet, but I'd definitely look into that. That'd be pretty cool. So let's crack on with getting our form fledged out. We've got two fields, which one of them actually, I'm going to have to go into our date picker. And I created this date picker. Notice we're client only because we're using a date picker library, which only works in browser. So whenever you come across with GridSum, I think there's a client only mode, and Nuxt. If you don't want the server to render that JavaScript into place, you have to wrap that whole component in client only so that it gets rendered on the view in browser. And we're using the vDate picker. Really nice. And it's just wrapped around all the same boilerplate, which I just explained. So we're going to add one of those in. Form date picker class. We're just setting this outer class of how many columns it is. If I don't set this, actually, because I'm using grid, it'll be at a certain size. I want to say, hey, we've got to be 4 columns out of the 4 columns which we set. 6 columns. Just so it fits about right. And I think, yeah, it looks quite nice. And you've got this free space, and we're going to use that free space in a minute. We don't need to do an ID here. We'll just do date and v model published at. These are the values which I'm going to be using in the database. And we have some artwork, and I use file pond, and this is such a good library to like drag, drop, and upload. You've seen a little animation there. You've seen it elsewhere on the project. If we go over to records and we go into one of the records, this is our file pond. It's a bit difficult to get set up initially on Nuxt, but once it is set up, tasty. So let me know in the chat if you want me to go through that file pond in deeper into file pond. I can skim over it if you think file pond can be boring. I will have to do a little bit work, but I don't need to do any modifications to the file pond piece. Just getting it wired up to where I want it to go onto the server. Heavy model artwork. Set that in. So we have our piece of artwork there, and I think I need to have class sm calls span 2 because we got 6 columns, and there we go. We got card drop. I've completely forgotten how to do that, how to instantiate that. And it's one piece which is separate from Superbase, but you can get it to wire up to Superbase, because Superbase does have a storage area. I've not started using it yet because most of mine's on Google Cloud Platform. I could consider using it, but I didn't want to kind of fully convert everything. There's a lot of data. 2 gigabytes, come up to 3 gigabytes, I think it is, of artwork, which I've over time just recruited. So I'm going to quickly go over to this form and see how I wired it up. Oh, I'm using a value. Why have I used a value? Is that from? Oh, it's because this being a helper form, I'm having to pass down the value, which is given in the V model through. So don't worry about that. It's more about the artwork. Oh. Name. That's going to be important. Name albums. I think I remember that being important. Name supply. Let's go over to the file pond. I need to have another look at over what the supply is doing. So this name and is quite important because what it's going to say to the server. Let's find. It tells file pond where to load things to, and I think if I remember right, we have a plugin called file pond, and this receives it on Nuxt side and pushes it up to our server somehow. Completely forgotten. Oh, we have to go back through another section of the code. Server middleware upload. So from this file pond component, it goes into there. We have the component here. This component just kind of boots up all this front end piece, and it tells it where the server is, or in like on our local instance. So /API/upload is where our files will upload to and then get distributed to anywhere on the internet. We have this plugin file pond, which just helps it instantiate itself and bringing it into existence, like the component file pond. We've seen file pond. That's all that does with this plugins. It just kind of helps us with our defaults. And this rename is quite interesting because by default, file pond will take the file name which you have on disk from wherever you're uploading to and just pass it to the server. So you can overwrite files. And I want to make sure that when you upload a file, it's not going to get overridden. It's just a dummy file store. So I'm not really too worried about uploading the same asset multiple times. I'll figure out that problem out in the future where I can go through the database and find all the assets and do a diff of the assets on my file server and go like, these files do not reference anywhere. I might delete them. But this stops the name clashes. But this is where the meat of the things, and this happens on the server side instance of Nuxt. This means you can't really use this admin panel in Gridsum. You have to have a server side and a client side to get this properly working out. And I'll just quickly skim over this. We bring in Google Cloud Storage. That's the one we're using right now, and we instantiate the keys for that. We have these folders, and that's where that name, remember, comes in. This, and let's keep that open. The file pond, this name here, give it a name, and this is where it goes to. So at the moment we have albums, artists, tracks, chapters, and shows. Those are valid places to go to, but we don't have a place for supply to go to. And this means that when I get this allowed names coming in, it's going to go in and go, hang on a second, I can't do that, so I'm going to give it a new file name or put it into the root of the, instead of rejecting it, which I don't know whether that should be great. So I'm going to create supply, and I hope that it creates the folder for that, because I kind of wanted my file server to keep things a bit separate instead of just dumping it on the desktop of everything. then we grab a few things. This is where the middleware comes in. You remember talking about earlier on middleware? We're passing through the auth, saying, hey, are you sure you're an authenticated user? If you are, great. We're going to pass you on to the next instance, or we're going to reject you with a 403 because you're not authenticated. So it's an early return. And then the next piece of middleware, this file-based upload, which is just a file we defined there. You don't really need that, but it's just easier for me to do that. I get the request and response, and then next, if there is something next. In this case, from the request, we got headers and the file contents in place, and we're just going to pipe that request straight through to our Google Cloud Storage. So we have our bucket here. We're provisioning the file uniquely in the place and the folder which it belongs to. We're also saying, hey, this stream, this is the content type of what it is. Like if it's a PNG or a JPEG, we're defining that because Google Cloud doesn't really understand it very well. And we create this stream, this file stream. And I think later on we receive the uploaded files, and we pass that through somewhere. I've forgotten where it goes. It's definitely somewhere. Oh, here it is. Uploaded files, we pass them through. I'm pretty sure. Where am I reading my code? Oh, the file. You can see here, busy boy file, which we received from the headers, which that file is saying, hey, I'm in this location. That file is a write stream, and we're going, this file, pipe it to this next stream where you can write it to. So it saves us having to upload the file to our file server and then upload and push it up. It just pipes it straight through our infrastructure. That's a very bad explanation of how it does, but it does. And then we have a few things here. So we're setting up an Express server. We're putting on turn on cores. So whenever this instantiates, it's going to say, hey, with the get and our query, do we have an image in this location? If so, can we get it, please? So it's going to download and display that asset. And we have this post, which is going to go to the file uploader via the authentication. And we also have the ability to delete, where it's just a very simple text query, and we're saying, hey, are you authenticated? Cool. Go and delete what's the ID, which is the unique file name of this file. Go and delete it from the server. Thank you very much. Gone. It took a while to figure that one out, but we got there. So now we've instantiated supply in there. I could actually drop a file in there. Let's go over to, actually I can go, I use transmit. Transmit is a FTP, remember later. FTP, Amazon AWS, or even Google Cloud. And I can go onto here and go into our bucket. So we have things in a root, which I don't want the root to get busy. And when we upload, we should see in here, hopefully, I think this might be in images. Yeah, in images or in this root. I forget which one it is. A new file or new folder in a file. So I'm going to take a screenshot, drag that, and pop it in there. If I refresh, I've forgotten exactly where. I might need to create the folder for it initially. I think I do. Uploads. Let's have another look over here. So, like, artist, shows. Oh, there it is. That's not it. Oh, that's me uploading them manually. I think it will be in this. Yeah, it'll be in this folder, the images folder, and we need to probably create a new new folder. Actually, I'm going to go into here, create a new folder called supply. Oh, this is an annoying thing with Google Cloud. Can't go into it. Is it doesn't allow you to rename things via this this interface. So to get around that, I create a new folder on my machine and upload that folder. New folder. Oop. I'm gonna give that upload another try. Refresh this. Do we have it? Yeah, there we go. We got 2 instances which have come into play magically. So that's uploaded there, but it's just uploaded. We've not saved it to the database at all. It doesn't understand its life where it's going to be on persistent storage. We also want to row span 3. Let's go into. Oh, it kept it in memory. Cool. So we have title, artwork, and published at. We'll do a new date. So it will be today. At default, and because it refreshed, that artwork is gone. I can probably save myself the kilobytes of delete that. So that's all wired up. When we type in here, this is going to be okay. But we want a methods on submit. We'll do the submit prevent on submit. And here is where I've forgotten what goes on. This super base from. We're gonna have to create a place for this. So supply for start. Insert, and I think you have to it'd be more than one, but it would be one instance of it. We're gonna do title, this title, artwork, this artwork. Oh, it might even be easier for me to override one. I don't know. And then published at was this published. Now, because there's only one instance of supply on the view, which I just want to kind of keep in persistence. There might be other ones in the future. And this is where I kind of got myself messed over with how we're going to do events. So I'm probably going to have to refactor this or change it around again in the future. Or, hear me on this one. Reuse how events go. So, because this drop is going to happen in the future, and we can tag that this is going to be a supply drop on our data, we can then just do a get from events which are a supply drop, which are most latest. And that would mean I'd have to create an index for this, which I don't want to do. Okay, I'm going to do a very hacky version of this for starters, and then we're going to, if we have time, look at a refactor. So we're going to create a new table, which is going to be our hacky one. And it's going to be a simple ID, and we're going to do title, This is how we do super base. We need it, not a foreign key, my bad. We want it a type and it's going to be text. And we're not going to allow it empty. We have artwork, which is also going to be a text, not empty. And we're going to create a published at. And we're going to create this as a timestamp universal and not empty because we have default. And what I was thinking of doing is just creating one record as a hack, and then we update that record each time. So in here, instead of being insert, this would be update, and we would find the instance for that, and I think we need to say ID is 1. But I'm going to go over to Superbase because Superbase does a great job of giving us some hints. So all tables, we go over to API, supply, and we've got all these nice little helpers. Read rows, insert rows, and this is what we were going to do earlier, insert, and you see that we have to do an array, even if it's from 1. And insert will also return the replace. Okay, that's fine. We want to update where someone equals. Yeah. So I did the syntax a little bit wrong here. EQ ID equals 1. And it's going to be 1 of that. We have our columns sitting in there, and that'll be fine. There's another thing which we need to do on Superbase just before we can make that all good, is our permissions. We get where it is, authentication, policies. So we have a new table on Superbase called supply, and we don't want anyone to write in there, so we'd add a policy on advanced all authenticated can do anything. You can probably see this in the background. And we need to create a simple definition. If you can allow me to type it in. That's not very good. Where our role is equal to authenticated. When we save this, it's going to, of course, change it around a little bit. Now we can lock that that table so that someone who is not authenticated cannot write to that. I can actually probably disable that, make all false. For now, and I'll show you what happens when it is false. Don't like that. Oh, it does not like that. I'll switch that to a not authenticated, and I'll show you what happens when you try and write it. Or even we can delete that. But we're not going to match on a datum because we've not created one. So let's go and create that. Here we have our supply. Just add a row. Testing. Testing. We'll have that just as before. Then we got our index there. If we go in here and type in supply test. Oh, I got no way to submit. Silly me. We need to add in our form submit. Yep. And then we got our buttons. Testing view. Let's save that. Form failed. Let's have a look-see. Go back over to our API, go into supply and insert there's my spelling mistake. Refresh. And I think that's gone through. If we go through over to our super base, table editor, refresh. No, it didn't. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of some of these pages. No, it's done nothing. That's why. I need to have another look to see how. Oh, it doesn't do. I don't have anything. Do I have event submit? Async. That's why it wasn't doing anything. Save. Oh, there we go. 404 does not exist. But you should. And that might be because our policy is not in place. Go back over to policies. Do we have it on? Oh, and we need to put in another policy here as well. So, select. We'll just have it as true. Anyone can see. Anyone can see data. I might have spelled authenticated incorrectly. Yes, I did. So that was the case that when you try and update a record, which you're not authenticated or you don't have the rights to, it's going to go, what record? This doesn't exist. No record to me. We hit this save again. See that second request? We've got this patch 200. We can go over to our table editor and we've got our testing view which has come through there. Brilliant. Even though it's accepted our blank string. Questionable. So we can do our fun, take a picture, upload it. And when we save this, we'll come out into another table and we're back in. We have our full path of where that file is. Brilliant! We'll have a yay for that. Right, enough playing around with that. How's little man doing? He's just loving life. He's chilling and sleeping. We're doing a good session today. So, what next? We have our admin basis, even though it's a bit big. I might want to, but I have another form somewhere which shows, which gives me a bit of a tighter grip over it. Nope. Forgotten. I have forgotten the width of these. I guess that'd be okay for now. It's a simple admin. So how do we wire this up to? Oh, our date picker. Wiring this up to the. Oh, we need to actually tell this. Hey, Bob Ross, Carl the Wellsby, Doggo. Yep, my dog's here. I've seen that database on GitHub a lot recently. I forgot what it's called. Superbase. It's supposed to be a Firebase alternative. Yes, and no, it's not like for like, but it's close. It uses Postgres SQL as a basis, so you can download that and upload it to your Postgres server, and boom, there's all your data. Or you can connect directly to it. Table Plus, for example. I can connect directly to my Postgres server, and our supply data is right there. And which is really, really handy. So I could have a different application connect straight to this without having to use any other special Firebase connection things. This UI which I'm doing right now is my admin for selection.com. And the Superbase, this is the admin panel to deal with your Superbase infrastructure. It's quite nice. So you don't need to worry about having your own admin panel. You can just edit your content through here. But I thought today's episode is about the tracklist admin. And we're going to wire up this piece here to read from exactly this one row of data. But I realized when we refresh this page, poof, all the data's gone. So how are we going to fix that? We're going to, of course, fetch it. The for mount this dot superbase from supply select just everything. So it's just like SQL. We could do select ID, title, art, you know, all that. But we're going to say everything. So we'll bring back a JSON of everything, and we do equal where the ID is equal to 1, and we have this as a async. I'm going to have the await, and this is going to be the full response as const response. And this response has a few different things in there. It has like a response.error. We can check on that if error alert help something went wrong. And we can probably just batch in the response error message. An early return. This is a very, very hacky way. I would probably use a better alerting message. But here we have this dot title, and we just want to go. Actually, let's deconstruct error and data. There'll be the data which will come through there. So data.title, and you see where this is going. Let's just patch these two. And this next one is going to be published at. I was complaining because of that response. It should have where. Let's have a look. See, console log data. Oh, it's brought. So by default, Superbase will bring back a array of data, because it's like, yeah, your ID equals 1, but did you want all of the ID equals 1s, even though there's one of them? There could have been more. So if we know that it's going to be exactly 1, and we don't want to deal with an array, we wrap it. We patch on with single. To that. I need to close some of these windows down. And now, there we go. We got our data in place. It is reading from it. Oh, what are you saying? Yes. Modern SQL-like. Yeah, I love doing this. You've probably seen this on the repository for search and track lists version 4. So we got our data here, and then testing after data. If I go back over to close that one down, I can just switch between the two. Testing after data. Brilliant. This is nicely wired up. So I don't need to do much about that. I'm going to go over to another project, open it up, and we're going to Nuxt version 4. And we're going to close down all these other sections, and we're going to go over to home supply. And this is where I can actually build up this server. Yarn dev. And don't forget to keep yourself hydrated. So Bob Ross RTX. I've forgotten. How are you doing? You doing all right? I'm gonna open this server locally. Bob Ross is doing all right. Let's give you a. Awesome. I need to. There's a subtle delay on that file. I need to get rid of it because I need to plan it in ahead, which is good. So it's a moment, but we're doing okay. I'm doing all right. Little doggo's doing all right. He's he's probably falling asleep. Yes, it's good. The code's doing all right. We shipped selection.com, so this is now selection.com. I'm really happy about that. It's live. And we're gonna wire up this locally. So, just like we did before, we can just close down the terminal, get rid of that side. Script. We just do a simple JavaScript. And because we're in Nuxt land, which I could have done on the other one actually, we do a sync data. And I forget how this is on Gridsome, how you do the server side render first, but on Nuxt it's a sync data or fetch. And we have in here super base available to us, and we'll return supply. So we're going to const error and data. It's got to reach into the super base. From supply equal. Oh wait, we need to select everything because it'll be fine. Where that record equals 1, and we've got to single it, and that's got to nicely format for us. And the supply is got to be the data. Now, supply dot title and supply dot published at, and we'll do if error alert. I think I have. Oh yeah, on this we can do error. We need to rewrite what this definition of error is. So error equals and if I think it's the other way around. How's your C code going, Bob Ross? It's still alien to me. It's going alright. Yeah, the text overlapping the video. I forgot, didn't see that. Yeah, this is overlapping. Overlapping a YouTube video as well. I was pretty chuffed that it actually worked as well. We can't do if error because we have this error class we just want to bring in, and we have error, and then we can just say status codes is going to be a 500. A message got to be just passing the error with the and message will be actually I think it's done because we've defined to give you a little bit of context of what that error is doing in layouts error view. We can pick up the message, we bring in the error, the kind of core error message or status code, and it was a 500. We just say something went wrong, mate. We don't know why, but it went wrong on our server side, so that's why we get this. But we refresh the page and it's saying title is undefined. And I'm confused why. Oh, here. Console log, this is how we do it. Let's check out the data. It's definitely not going to load for us. It's definitely complaining about that title around there. So we just got to get it to write out all things. Nothing came out. Oh, did I save that policy? Policies. Anyone can see data on select supply. So let's have a look at is there anything in the console log? supply is not defined as an instance on this. Let's just pass through data then. Let's have a look at the network request, because sometimes it gives me a clue. Where did I learn Vue? Because I want to learn it. I don't know if there's a good resources of Vue. I just went on to Vue and just started using it, really. If you've used jQuery in the past, it was an interesting transition. I learned from Angular.js, so the patterns from Angular.js kind of translated very well. There are some awesome classes. I think Vue Mastery is probably one of the best resources. I can't vouch because I've not checked them out. I've not checked out the resources. But that's one place I'd go to. And Egghead. I think it's Egghead.io. These guys have a bunch of Vue courses to get them through. Some lessons are free, and like Vue Router, create a new app. Nuxt, this is one which would be relevant for you right now. They're good. Sometimes you have 75% off offers. I have used these resources, so this is probably a good point to go to Egghead.io. Let's pop that into the chat. Oh, I can't put it in the chat because it's on a different machine. So we're trying to figure out why that piece of data is not popping into existence. Let's save, and it should fetch and give me something. No? Yeah, you don't want to be using Angular.js. That's deprecated now. The learning curve is very, very steep. And jQuery, it's not relevant anymore. For the very simple things, maybe. But if you go in, Vue.js and jQuery are very, very close together. If you want to patch some simple like glitter into your front end websites, yeah, I would recommend that over jQuery, but jQuery still has its powers in some areas. Angular.js is dead. Angular is still very much alive, but Angular is like hardcore. It's a completely different feeling. Very, very much different. Oh, you know where I've gone wrong? It's wait here. So async await, even though it's async data, it's async await. Now we should have something. Property data does not reactive. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten. In Nuxt.js, components can't really get data. Only pages can get data. So our index page has to be the one which gets that data. So if I just move this, boop, and pop it over, it shows albums. Let's pop it after albums. And I'm going to create this as a supply response. So now I have supply response data, and I can pass this through like we have above. Latest item supply, and let's change up this code. What's it going to be? Props. Latest item and this is going to be a type of object. Default. It's going to be empty. Yes. Vue and React are in this like boop, 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 race. I personally like Vue because it's quite easy and nostalgic. Single page components, and it feels like it's not trying to do everything in JavaScript. But if you're in the market, React, I'm going to hate saying this, it's probably something which you would want to learn if you're open-minded and want some good jobs, because everyone just chosen React. Because React Native, it allows you to transfer a lot of those skills over into React Native to make mobile applications and such. Which is quite powerful. I've tried it, and yeah, I do see the quite appeal, but still, Vue.js is where my heart is at, because I just really enjoy the coding environment and the community as well. But yeah, it's each their own. Some people are like, no, we really hate Vue.js or really hate React. Each one is bringing a great thing to the table of these reactive, interactive web applications and mobile applications in some cases, where we didn't have them before. It gives us a great starting place for very dynamic applications on the internet. Like Superbase, this admin panel, this is React.js, while mine's Vue. None of them are better than each. They each do a good job. And why is this complaining? It is complaining because title of undefined. Still. See, I passed that through. I said latest item, which is a prop. We pass in through supply. To define supply down here from the response data, and it's going, no, I am certain that I do not have that. Am I going crazy here? Yeah, syntax is very different. I accidentally pressed that. It would be able to. Would I be able to tell a page was specifically a framework looking at the style? No. I would not be able to say this is Vue.js or this is React. The only way I'll be able to do that is by opening up the inspector and looking at certain things in the elements. So this is a Nuxt because you got all these underscore Nuxt. Straight away you know that's Nuxt. Gaps. I don't know. The reason how I found out this one is, again, I think I opened up this and I've seen underscore next. Next.js is built on React, and Next.js is like Nuxt.js. They're both the same server-side and client-side framework applications. So Vue.js and React are the client-side, Nuxt and Next are the server-side. And it allows you to do server-side and client-side in the same code. Very, very useful. Not so useful when I'm trying to debug why this is not pulling back the data. Disable cache. Let's give that a try. Right, I'm going to stop myself from being crazy and just go into supply here. We should see some data which appears right up here. On our index. And just turn off everything else. I want to concentrate on one area. Yeah, there's our data, which should be going through. Might have needed like a real big shove to do that. Oh, my bad. Do you see what I've done? There. God. Of course, it's like, I don't understand what's going on. Now we can do it. Title. I know, yeah? Wrong component. Publish that. And you see that that's not that this is a ISO 3601 8601 date format. So it's like year, month, day, T, hour, minutes, seconds, Z. If you in Z stands for like UTC, middle of the earth time zone. But you can do +00 like over here, or like if you're in the United States, it'd be a -005 for East Coast. But you notice we want to translate this date into something a bit more meaningful. So I'm going to steal the code which I have over in records, and we have formatted date. We have this formatted date, so I'm going to steal this. Boop. I'm going to pop this over here. Compute it. And latest item. Boop, boop. So what this is doing is using the browser built-in formatter. We're saying, hey, use the United States language format of this with the date style of long, and here you go. Here is a date which we parsed, because you need to parse it from a string into a date format. And we save that. We should have grab the formatted date, plonk that into place. Date. Now our last little tiny bit. Yeah, it's built into the browser, so I can go into console, new until and date format. I think it is. I've forgotten what it is already. So initially you have to say, hey, I am either where I am EN UK or GB, which is our correct code, and we want to format today's date 2020 to 2025, and it's 26, and what is we need to give it let's just give it a new date, and that's how it formats. And we have style, short, long, I think. Is it style? Oh, date style. So you can see that the format changes. I think there's another one called full, which is like Wednesday. And there's another version for date and time where you can put in the time into that place as well. So this saves us having to do using Moment.js. Moment.js is a great JavaScript library. It's bloated, and I didn't want to bring it in just for changing a date format. Oh, hello. Kunai, yes, this is about web development. We are working on my administration panel for selection.com, and we are making admin ability to change this artwork, title, and date. And this is where I'm working at the moment. This is actually Google Maps talking. Okay. Oh, is it actually Google Maps talking? I don't know. We'll crack on. So we have our date, nicely done. We want to get this artwork because this is hard coded right now. This is like where is the artwork? Right here. Whoop. Artwork. So what we're going to do is tell the source. Oh, I've lost it now. That we are going to latest item, and we're going to say art. yeah, if you have any questions about codes, can I, or about what I do, then fire away. I'm more than willing to help. You're familiar with HTML, CSS, React.js, but what are we doing here? Haha! Here, if you're familiar with React, you might know React uses Nuxt.js. It's a framework built using React, but I'm using Nuxt.js, which is built on the Vue framework. So we're using Vue because I enjoy it. So this is how a Vue component looks like. I'm using a little bit of Pug. So Pug is just like slim HTML. Gives us a simplified formatting for HTML. Very, very nice. So I don't have to open up my div, and if I forget to close a div, things bad go on. This is just spidering down. So this probably makes sense if you know enough HTML. And this is our JavaScript parts down here, where we just brought in our prop of latest album, which is the title, album artwork, latest item artwork and date. Done some date formatting in this computed, and we're displaying that out here. And that's our piece of artwork which we've put in. So after all of that, we have a piece of artwork. Oh, what do you say? Do I review React.js projects? No, I don't really review a lot of things. I do like to look at projects, but I'm not proficient in React.js enough to say, hey, this is looking good on how you can react, or no. I'm not that much of an expert with it. I can read the code, I can understand what's going on, and if there's any glaring things, then I would probably say, but I by no means, if you're doing React and you're doing it well, I don't know whether well code it would be obvious or not. Yeah, this is Vue. Have I ever read the O'Reilly book? Highly Agile on Rails. This collection of books used to be my Agile on Rails 2. Let's see if it's got. Ruby on Rails version 6 is pretty new, but I was reading this book way back in the early 2000s, and it's probably easy for me to use Google to find this. Rails 2. Here it is. It was a red one. Yeah, that's the one. The 3rd edition. Yeah, so this is the one I read. If I can, yeah, I have read a book. Images. Yeah, something like this. They keep changing them each year to keep them up to date. I also read one about HTML5, but that became out of date very quickly. Thanks very much for tons of info. Love from India. Oh, welcome from India. Awesome. I've visited once or twice. I've flown through twice. I really enjoyed the culture shock India gave. I've only been to the north of India, Rajasthan, Udaipur, I think it is. Udaipur, Jodhpur, New Delhi, Varanasi. Yeah. Take a look and let me know if you know suggestions for. Okay, let's give this a go, because we do like to do a bit of looking at what people are being coding. I'd like to give a shout out, Jack Cal. Ooh. So, watch TV Beyond Boundaries, featured on The Loop. Loop Insight. Oh, I might have. What is a loop? Oh, I came across a different loop insights. How do you use this? I'm lost already. So what we want the BBC? Can I watch BBC One? Oh, this is pretty cool though. If it works. Let's have a look. Okay, so this will be for the Surge. Say what it is. So you're using Nuxt.js because of pages. That makes a bit of sense. But a lot of this will be alien to me. Postify. Also, I want to have your title update with the channel which you're viewing. So Jackal BBC. Let's have another look. See, can I find another channel which might work better? BBCF. I guess the red ones mean that you can't watch them, and the green ones you can. Geo blocked. Let's give BBC News usually works. No? Or do I need to go and click on play? Live stream cannot work on these browsers. Chrome, mate, it should work. So you want to debug that. Also, might want to consider when you're dealing with channels. It seems you're using Nuxt.js. When you're looking at, I want to click on BBC Earth, or click on this page, or click on. You okay, mate? My dog. When you click on this, I'm expecting not just a link to the URI, but like if I go onto Jackal /BBC Earth or something like that, channel BBC Earth or UK BBC Earth. So having some dynamicness about that. You alright, man? I think it might be time to take the doggo out. I would also refrain from, if you're using icons, bring them into your project. Because you don't know whether free icons is going to always be in play or not. They could shut down at any time and it'll break your app. So bring those icons in play. It's a good tip. And I kind of guess this is going to go into the components. Oh, what's this cart? What are you trying to sell? Is that a cart? Nope. Oh, whoa. Okay, I want dark mode. I guess, I don't know. Oh, for making notes. Yeah. Oh, missed a few things. Take a look at this. First time coming along, I was writing C, trying to figure out the problem. Then I saw it again, trying to figure out the books have animals of them. Yeah, the O'Reilly books, they're really good. I find them as a Bible, and you can use the index pages to kind of yo-yo yourself through the book of like, oh, I'm trying to figure out how to do a for each loop. It'll show you that and give you some information about that. There's also an application on your Dash app, syntax. I think this is unless they've renamed, there used to be an awesome little application for your Mac and maybe Windows. But Dash was Dash for beginners, Dash camp, Dash. There it is, Caply, caply.com/dash. This application helps you keep a localized cache of the docs for. It's got here Python, JavaScript, and I've forgotten what that Objective-C, and many other languages in here, so you can quickly on your computer pull up the documentation. It's great if you're in a place which doesn't have great internet. You're on a flight, you're on a train. Really, really handy if you've forgotten how to code something. A definition of a loop. Can you make suggestions? Probably this. Moving off the main content to source directory, a lot more organized. Yeah. Thanks, Bob Ross, for jumping in on some suggestions. On this. Yeah, you can clean up the code, but I think some of the glaring things seems you're using Nuxt.js. I would be expecting some root changes. And I think in Pages you can do that nicely. Just like on my project, Nuxt.js, I think they have the same sort of patterns, but if we go down to, say, records here, we have our index, which is just showing all the records. So if we go over to the right page for that, records, index, all the records. And then you have this underscore ID. We go into one of the records, you can see records / and the name of the ID. And the ID could be the channel name which you want to view, or in a small case here, I have this T folder which goes with type, the records T, and then type of those ones. And we have the same over here, so we have, say, takeover shows T for takeover, which gives us a different index. You can do that in Next.js as well. DevDocs. Yeah, DevDocs. I think I've come across that. Really, really handy. Oh, nice. Thank you, Kunai, for the sub on YouTube. I'm going to have to take a little break now, but I'm not going to leave it with dead air. I have a nice surprise set up for you for some of my videos from 2018 when I went traveling, so I hope you enjoy them. We'll come back and we'll finish off wiring up this. I have a little bit of data put in, and we'll commit this. So do stick around for that. I'll probably be about 5 minutes because I just need to take my dog out for a wee. He is hovering around my legs right now. So do stick around, enjoy the videos, and I'll be back as soon as I can. Don't forget to get yourself a nice cup of tea or some water as well. Be right back. Thank you. I've just arrived into Hanoi, Vietnam. The local time is 12 noon, but my body clock is at 6 a.m. So, no, actually, it's actually about 1 o'clock. So it's about 7 hours difference, I think, if my maths is doing me right. But wow, this is so surreal to be back here. Spent like the last 3 hours in the note calf right there, trying to find some of my notes from 2014, which were buried under like 3-4 years of notes. So I left a couple there for maybe next time I visit. Good morning, Vietnam. sell for 200,000 dong, which is about £6. Dirt cheap. When I was last in Vietnam, fast food establishments weren't that popular, they weren't common. Within a week we were there, the very first Vietnamese McDonald's opens, and now there's one right there. That's new. Hanoi has a curfew in place. At 11 o'clock you're done. So the streets are empty right now and everybody's going home. I went on the other side of town for one of my favourite pizzas in the world. Good morning, everyone. I'm here having breakfast. I get asked a lot, like, how do I find the time to edit all these little shorts? An app called GoPro Quick Stories. It's pretty fun to just like spend a moment to myself and reminisce my story, and then share that with you on WhatsApp, on Instagram, and YouTube. And I think it automatically syncs to Facebook as well. So for today, I'm just not feeling really good. The vendors are starting to touch me, which is one of my biggest peeves about travel. They demand for your attention that much that they start grabbing you. Gets a little bit annoying very, very fast. For most of the day, I have been drowsy. Got emergency here. This is the original Red Pub. Yeah. I think orange.
I'm very happy so you come to Vietnam. I'm very lucky to meet you, okay?
About Vietnam is you'll find streets where it's just lined with pretty much the same product. So this street I'm on right now is Silk Street. It's not called that, it's just that all the stores here are selling silk or pashmina at them at very competitive prices. For example, you can pick up a scarf for £4.50, very little money at all. That food looks tasty, doesn't it? Thank you very much for waiting and allowing me to take the time to take my dog out. He's actually over here. Let's change the camera. Put that on. There he is. Yeah, this is Tadashi. Yeah, those are videos from 2018. My travel vlogs when I was over there for my 30th. I rid the length of Vietnam, so what I'll do next time, I'll make sure I cut out the first couple and slowly feed those through. Hope you enjoyed the quality of that. We're going to continue on with our code today, and yeah, we are listening to Focus Beats by Epidemic Sounds. There's a playlist with a whole bunch of songs. We'll just slowly get through this. My nice chill set. I really enjoy this. I do have a few other playlists, but I find this one's the nicest one, which I can play legally and not get cut out on audio. So I'm just going to bring back up the chat over here on my overhead machine. And so we want to put in the correct artwork, which I have been received. And this is going to be on my Discord, I think it is. Yeah, and I need to kind of Oh, it's loading up right now. But I'll have to hide some messages because I don't know what's been said. Just to kind of keep the information okay. So we're going to pull the artwork from that, which will be in here. Do I have it? Or is it over here? Oh, brilliant! I can view original, and I can I think. I'll view the original of that, and I can close down Discord now. Oop, closed. Right, we're back. So this is the artwork which we want to put onto play, and I think they've just cropped it in, because I did ask for a square one to go on the site. I don't like how this is a newspaper print or something. Oh well. So I'm going to grab this artwork and I'm going to download it. Save somewhere. Desktop. Yeah, my desktop is a right trash hole right now of stuff. And I can just drag that into here. Or get rid of the artwork and drag in a new one. Or not. Oh, I need to refresh the page. Get rid of that. Drag it in. Oop. So I'm going to save that. And I think there is a point in the future when it's meant to come out. I don't know when. So I'm going to go to twitter.com/selection. Because they announce things on Twitter sometimes earlier than on their site. Or not? How about Instagram? I don't want to accept all the things. Come on, let me in. This is annoyance about bloody Instagram. Like, I want to see this post and I don't want to log in for it. And I don't know where this information is. Let me have a look, see if we can find what the true title is and when it's meant to be released. Nope, not on there. How about over? I'm looking on the Discord channel, seeing if there's any information about it, or I'll just go over the Instagram. So. But remember, guys, if you've got any more questions, do ask me. Ask me about where I'm working, other things I'm working on, projects in the future. I'm more than willing to answer them. May 28th, which is in 2 days. Close that. So we can go over to here, and we go over to May 28th. I kind of guess it might happen at 3 a.m. my time, which is going to be 6 o'clock or something like that in Los Angeles. I forget. I don't know. It'll be 3 a.m. the next day. Noon, whatever it is. We'll save that. And this is going to be Bonnie Clyde. So we continue to celebrate 10 years of selection this year as we linked up with our friends Bonnie Clyde for first sunglasses release. We have 2 stars for you. May 28th selection supply. I've saved that. I can refresh the page. I should have the artwork. Now I might want to put dropping May 28th if it's in the future, and it'll be the shop. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now I'm going to finish off initializing all this, and events don't exist right now. Cool. We can ship. So let's have a look at the code which we've produced today for the front end code, because I can easily ship that. We've added in the supply fetch. Oop. Little man is just all over my legs. Just wants attention, doesn't he? Like, play with me. We've updated our supply section with it to be dynamic. So new. Let's try that again. Selections. Dynamic selection supply. Apply that. And we'll push that. That'll be published live. Can you not do that? Little man is trying to escape by chewing through his lead. And we want to publish our code in backend because we've done a lot of changes since. I want to make sure I'm doing a bit of justice with certain areas. So the 2 areas which I've touched, those 2. And this is going to be just a new supply admin. Oop. And there's a whole bunch of other areas which I've started on but not completed. I think I can quickly commit those in a big yar. Artist lookup. Oh. Site sidebar. Yes. Let's go with that. Oh, please don't start barking. Albums. So everything to do with albums we've put into play. I'm lazy on my commits in while on stream. We're done. We're done for that. That will be shipping out, so I can start closing down some of these things. Thank you very much, sir. Top Clan, for letting me view your project, and hopefully I gave you some feedback for that. Thank you very much, Kunai, for dropping on in and giving some suggestions as well. It's great to see people's code and share that. I still have a little tiny bit of time left, and I'm wondering whether to see if any of these. There's one to fix. So we go into section.com. We go on the about page. We tell the about page that we're going to go into mobile view. So we're like, yeah, this is all good, all great, and then what happened then? Also, the width from this. So I've gone messed up with something on here. I don't know exactly why. I was gone for 2 calls. So let's go. We need to fix this. I want to make it look alright on mobile. It's a bit embarrassing. About. There we go. Make it into the mobile page. Go down to section. Yeah, we want it good. So this is going to be over in Leave it. Oh man, it's literally chewing on my shoes. This is gonna be... Oh, I need to log in again. Pages, artists. Oh, about. There it is. And we want grid calls 1. Yeah, there's a serious... Leave it. Oh, I think I might have messed it up when they asked, hey, can you make it look better? I've forgotten how it... Oh, here it is. There we go, fixed. The reason that broke things is when we have this view, I had to do this this skip on the side of the grid. That was a fix. We got what number it is. 163. About page image team line. Alignment. Oh, I like nice little fixes like that. Let's change my... Can I go with... Yeah. Let's put on a bit of backlight for myself. So we're gonna push that change as well. Done. On desktop it isn't an issue, but on mobile the player gets activated by selecting play on the show, on the home page, or track list, and then starts and stops right to play. I don't know what... Simulator. Let's have a look. See, can I open up the simulator and give it a try and see if I can replicate that? Oh, nice. So we have our go to the home. I want to go over to this.
Future beats.
I don't know why that is happening. That's very interesting. I can debug it though. Very minor thing though, and it only happens on Safari. Thank you. Simulator. I want. I bet you I need to refresh the page for it to trigger it again. Alright, let's have a look at my code for the player. For player. Excuse me. We have this like fetch show, and this fetch show brings all the stuff in and sets these markers. And if I remember right, it's been a while. I have a component, or I do have a component which watches for those changes. Widget. So we have this SoundCloud widget, and it's listening to that toggle. I'm ready. I'm playing. This. Send play. And I might do a set timeout. And just delay it for just I don't know, a couple frames, so 100 milliseconds. Refresh that page. And give it another go. How about a whole second? Will that work? Oh, it instantly, like when it gets a play message. Okay, so it's not the timeout. How about if I send the play twice? Refresh. It really doesn't like that, does it? Now I'll be able to debug this. By if I copy this out of the context, just so I can absolute full to scale 1. Oh, he's cut up in my. I'm all cut up. There we go. Oh man. We want some water. Oh, that's what we want. Let me grab me some water. Where is that? Actually. There we go. So there's our player. Top left. I want it to hover over here if we can. This is a widget which we hide, and then yeah. Just spilled water everywhere. 1 second. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to be able to fix this one. Very specific to this. I like this track. It works when you interact with it, but it doesn't want to work when you don't interact with it. And it might be a policy that you have to fully interact with the page. I want to see whether we get the toggle. Nope. So we get that toggle, so it's not an accidental toggle. I'm going to try the set timeout hack again. Let's say a second and a half. So refresh the page. Play the show. It's loaded. We get the play and it doesn't want to play it. How about I send a toggle event? Refresh. Even toggle doesn't want to. That's very interesting. Is it like a time it needs to? How about 5 seconds? We're trying different things. I don't know. Like 5 seconds. You should see it flash and. Oh, that is insane. Don't do that to me, please. Sorry, I can't fix that. I don't know why it's not working. I just don't know how to fix it. I'm tangled up. Yeah, fully again. Untangle yourself, mister. Come over there. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock now. I think it's time. It's time we get done. We're done. Time to quit. So, we tried fixing, well, one where the T, we were debugging it for a while. It just did not want to play. So I'm gonna just live with it as an issue, and people will have to click play again. It's a thing. I may revisit it another time. Very specific to iOS right now, so it could be something to do with the privacies. But I'm really happy that we got the about, not the about section, the homepage section. The home. Let's try again. I'm really happy we got the homepage section wired up, and if I refresh the page correctly, it might be stuck in deployment at the moment. Really happy we got that done. I'm gonna have to look at that later on why it's not deployed, but I won't bore you guys with it. I hope that you learned something. I hope that the Superbase framework for your database was interesting on today's episode. I really hope that developing a little bit of an admin panel was useful, and the policies to set in can a user who's authenticated right to this database. Also, hooking it into your application and pulling out the data is one of my favorite pieces of JavaScript tooling to interface with a database. I'm yet to experience the downsides of it yet, but I'm pretty sure someone might find a way to break my site, and I hope that that's not very soon, because I'll be dealing with that stress. So don't break my site, please. Yeah. Each week we'll tackle off a interesting thing. I'll try and plan out my sessions a bit more, where we focus solely on one aspect and maybe patch on a few more things. And of course, can show you guys some more videos. But until next week, I hope you have a great rest of your week and continue coding. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.